game can see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go.
You ain't never seen this man throw a video where he was running on the track. Ever! Never!
BoxingVoice.com over here with former world champion, introduced today as former and soon to be undisputed middleweight champion. Miracle Man Danny Jacobs, back in Brooklyn. First fight in Brooklyn since, I believe, the Mora fight, right?
Yeah, exactly. So excited to be back. Good to show Brooklyn some love and get some of that fan-friendly feel when I get there. You know, it's like nothing fighting in Brooklyn ever.
I mean, you're from the city like me. When we're growing up, we had MSG, and MSG is great.
Yeah.
But to have that arena in your backyard, I mean, it should be something that when you're growing up as a kid and you're going through boxing, it's like surreal in a way, right?
It is surreal because, you know, still to me, being able... Can somebody do this to Natalie? She's right behind you. To me, it's like to follow such greatness, like the likes of Mike Tyson, Zab, Judah, all these different guys, and to know I represent that now, that this is my time, this is my generation, it feels great. Brooklyn is full of culture, full of pride, full of greatness, so to know I just got to carry that legacy, man. I'm working hard at it. Now,
you know, in a way, you're kind of in a tough spot, right? Because this guy, he's a tough dude, and a lot of people know who he is. They call that a trap fight.
Yeah, it is a trap fight, but trap fights are good for me in my position right now because I got to stay fresh. I got to keep my mind right. I got to always keep the threat high because the level of opposition that I want to face is going to be the same.
This guy brings pressure, a lot of it.
So I just want to make sure that I always take, no matter who I'm in there with, I want to make sure I give that opponent the right amount of respect to train. Yeah.
And you also had that with Arias too as well. Not all the people know about him, and you could say what you want about him, but he's still a tough fighter, and he knew how to survive for 12 rounds.
Instagram? Oh, my mother got it? Okay. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure this stuff is recorded.
Yeah, not a problem.
This is history right here.
For sure.
I try to soak in all these.
Documented. Yeah, absolutely. You had a great one, but I was going to say also, Arias was also a trap opponent too, because not a lot of people knew who he was, and you could say what you want about him, but he knew how to survive in the ring.
That doesn't count for anything, though, knowing how to survive, does it?
Yeah.
It doesn't really, because the fans want to see people fight. I think he would have been much respected if he would have went out and fought, even if he would have got knocked down or dropped or whatever the case may be. I think the fans would have respected that more, opposed to him holding and try to, you know, finesse his way out of a decision.
But this guy is an action fighter with the Polish at Brooklyn crowd. It's going to be a lit crowd in there. It's going to be exciting. Now, we never want to look forward to any other opponent because you got a tough guy in front of you.
Yeah.
But we know your mentality. You want to be the undisputed middleweight champion in the world. We got the logjam with Triple G and Canelo. Those guys are jammed up for a while, and you want to stay active. So you can't wait on them forever.
Right. And this is exactly why you have fights like this. We've called out BJ Saunders. We called out the top guys to no avail. We just got to stay active, but fight opponents that the public respects. They might not know this guy, but if they do their history, like, okay, let me see who this guy Jacobs is fighting. They do their diligence and they see that this guy is an active live dog. Because the name doesn't follow you know, his skill, it doesn't mean anything. You know, I have to respect what he's bringing to the table because he can offset everything.
Anytime. What happened when you gave a call over to BJ Saunders, promoter? Did you hear nothing back from him at all? Did they want more?
Well, it's not like I had his personal number, because if I'd have called him, I'd have blew up his cell phone. He wouldn't have had no more space for voicemails. Nah, but, you know, it's just my team that represents me. I mean, we reach out, but he says all the excuses in the world. I have no idea. I don't bring much to the table. I sold X amount of tickets my last fight. I mean, I'm one of the best middleweight divisions. If people have me above him, and he's champ. So, you know, you put two and two together. Yeah, and my promoter, Eddie Hearns, you know, made it clear that I make more money than him, and he's a champion. You know, I'm in a really good position, but I'm not going to chase these guys. I'm just going to fight whoever steps in the ring with me until we can get the big dogs.
I'm pretty sure that you want to fight only top middleweights. You don't want any trash opponents. You're very clear with that.
As a competitor, I don't want trash opponents, but like these guys aren't trash on paper.
Well, not these guys. No, not at all.
Not these guys. So at the end of the day, I just make sure I give my best.
But there's a lot of guys that you would reject. Because again, they don't.
Yeah, definitely. Especially guys who haven't had a win in a long time, or like the undefeated record to me is amazing. So the fact that my guys have O's on their record and I do my job to take it, that says a lot. My guy just beat the guy that Charlo's fighting. You know, so that says a lot.
That's true. Yeah, I saw that fight. He was very, very good in that fight.
Right. So he's an active dog. He's definitely a top middleweight, and I don't think there should be any backlash to me fighting this guy.
And there was people speaking up like, oh, well, how come you didn't say anything, fight Andy Lee or put an offer out to Andy Lee? But Andy Lee hasn't fought in a long time. He's got losses on his record.
Exactly.
He's a little bit older. No disrespect to him either.
No, I like him as a person and as a fighter, but it's just the position that he's in, the position I'm in. I think we're on two totally different spectrums of our career right now. So, you know, I'm trying to do stuff that makes sense, which is probably like undefeated guy. You know, give me some really good competition, and hopefully I can get the victory.
Good TV fight, good action TV fight with a pressure for a guy. Now, on the middleweight division, we also got Charlo. He's jammed up with that WBC interim fight. Charlo's fighting the guy who your guy knocked out.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, but he may be jammed up for a while. So, I mean, if God willing, if you're able to get by your opponent tonight, is maybe an Andrade somebody you could be interested in? He's somebody that's
whoever they throw me in there with, it doesn't matter to me. I really consider myself the best middleweight. So I'm at that point right now where I feel like it's going to start getting to a point where these guys are going to start to like not fight at all. So I got to get as much as I can before guys start to retire and so we don't get these big fights. So I'm willing to face anybody.
And worst case scenario, you leverage your ranking where you get the mandatory spot again and they can't run away from you anymore.
I think that's probably our best shot right now. If we can't get a champion or if we can't get a top guy, just be in the best be in the best position to place ourselves to where we can fight those top guys. So it's like I look impressive against this guy, then the fans will be like, hey, you know, this Jacobs guy, he's really doing this thing. From the Golovkin fight to his last fight to this one, being impressive is going to be a popular demand. So I think with the popular demand, with the rankings and things like that, I think we'll be in good position.
How long are you going to be willing to wait for Triple G, Canelo, or either or?
It's nothing that I can do. I mean, it's not like it's in my control, but I'm going to continue to keep fighting. This is my job. I'm not going to wait around if they don't want to fight. I mean, like I said before, this is a sport where the fans kind of speak. And, you know, and their word means something. They're paying fans, and you know, they keep the sport going. So I think at the end of the day, if I want to put myself in a position, it would have to come from the fans.
Danny, how would this fight prepare you for, like, in the future, Triple G and Canelo?
Well, this guy is sharp. He's young too. He's younger than me, right? Yeah. So this guy is fresh. He's strong. He looks my height. And
fearless too.
Looks fearless. I see it in his eyes. I don't see the same things I've seen in Aria's face. But that's exciting to me because I know that the fans are going to get their money's worth. I know it's not going to be well, it's all on Jacobs to look impressive, you know? Because when a guy is coming to fight, it's that much easier for it to be an exciting fight, opposed to a guy holding and it's just expected from one guy.
Small margin of error, though.
Yeah.
What's the transition like from Luis Arias that, you know, he was talking a lot for the build of the fight, going to this fight, he's more professional, this opponent. What's your take on that? You know, does that motivate you less, motivate you more if a guy's talking a lot during the pre-hype?
I just think everything is working out perfectly. I think it was the right amount of motivation when he did it because I just came off a fight, a big fight, and I needed to get something to kind of get me up because people are expecting me to come and fight. Even though he's undefeated, you know, he wasn't the top 10, you know, so I had to get my mind prepped for that, and I think his trash talking kind of did it. But with this guy, I feel different. It feels different. It almost feels as if he's really a big threat, and I have to take him, you know, accordingly, and I have to train for this guy.
How did you see Billy Joe Saunders' last performance against David Lemieux? Were you impressed?
I won't say I was impressed. I expected him to do it, but he looked good, yeah.
In terms of, I don't know if you saw Sean Porter's, what he did, his confrontation with Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia. Is that something you might do if you can't get those fights?
No, never. I'm sorry. Sean Porter's my boy. I love him to death, but I can't do that. It's like, you know, I have people to represent me. I don't need to put myself in a position to either make myself look bad or make it look controversial. I'm not a controversial type of guy. My hands are supposed to speak for me.
On behalf of AB Boxing News, I found very intriguing that, you know, a lot of welterweights like Spence, Thurman, and Danny Garcia are willing to call middleweights like Canelo. They're willing to move up to 160, but yet they don't call names like yourself, Danny.
Because I'm a true middleweight.
Yeah.
Canelo is not a real middleweight. He's still growing into the weight. I mean, he's have some time, but you know, these guys know who they can beat or if they have a chance against. But the power difference is night and day when it comes to me and Canelo. So that's why these little guys are able to call him out and not me.
If those names are presented to you in the future, are you willing to, let's say, Spence, Thurman?
Come on, man. No.
Okay.
It just doesn't make sense, man. I mean, if they was to come up and have a couple fights, but nah,
what's gonna say if he knocks out a welterweight?
That's like I'm a bully, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be no bully.
Would you like to be a spectator for the Canelo Triple G rematch? Go out to Vegas if it's taking place in Vegas.
Well, it's right after my fight, so I'll be there. Yeah, I want to be in the fight. I want to be with the fans, and I want the people to see that I'm here and I'm live and I'm ready. Especially if I can get an impressive victory with this guy.
Reflecting back on the Triple G fight, which was a great fight in the Garden, you put on a great performance. Anything that, looking back on it, that you could have just changed a little bit? Because again, it was razor close, that fight.
Right. I'll probably put a little bit more pressure. Probably would have gone forward a little bit more. Once I realized that his power wasn't what everyone made it seem like, I probably should have not respected it a little bit more than I should. Going forward, probably something that I'll do differently.
And that's something you would leverage if you were to have a rematch.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Well, listen, I'm still growing. I'm in my man strip now. I just turned 31, so I'm only getting better. So we'll see what the future brings. But
and your new strength and conditioning with Chris Algieri, that also probably has to help with your strength, your stamina, your weight, all that stuff.
Of course,
right?
I cut out chicken too from my diet for like 7-8 weeks, and it's been helping me tremendously, even stay in shape when I'm not training. So just having a good team is everything, and I thank Chris for always being on my side. I thank everybody, Andre Rozier, Victor Roundtree, being up with me and having my great trainer. Everybody just, the vibe is right.
Danny, now that you had time to reflect on your first experience with Matchroom Sports and Eddie Hearns, can you just tell us what you liked about that first fight with Matchroom Sports?
It probably was the most promotion I've ever got in my entire career on one particular card. It was awesome. I've seen my face on so many different ads and promotion, and I mean, this is what we live for. This is what fighters work hard for. To be the superstar. We do everything we can inside the ring, but outside it's not really up to us. So when you build yourself, when you clash with a good promoter who can bring your story to the world, it can build your brand, through these different promotional things, and it's amazing. I'm in a really good position. I know a lot of boxers right now are just like, what's going on?
You're back in Brooklyn, April 28th. What's it feeling like coming back to the Barclays Center after probably a year, right?
Brooklyn in the house. It goes without saying, man. I'm a Brooklynite, born and raised.
MOP gonna be the walkout song? MOP? Any up?
Nah, I don't know what we're gonna do now. You might do some type of African dance with a band or something like that.
The band was good in the Pete Quillen fight when the band came out. That was dope.
I'll give it some thought, but we're gonna make Brooklyn. We're gonna make some noise in Brooklyn that night.
If you get the winner of Canelo Triple G, where would you like that fight to happen?
It probably would be in Vegas, if not Madison Square Garden, but you know me, I'm spoiled with Brooklyn, so if it could come to Brooklyn, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Danny, you might have mentioned this already, but did you deal with some disappointment with this fight because it wasn't Saunders, and were you disappointed that you couldn't line this fight up for right now?
At first I was, but I didn't let it sink in. I mean, I still know that this is a progress. I still know that I have a job to do, and if I cry over spilled milk, I'm always going to be living in the past. So I got my mind right. I accepted who I was going to face. I studied him for a little bit, and I geared myself for it.
I mean,
all this stuff is out of my control. It's the outside. Inside the ring is my domain. What's up, bro?
Jacobs. Jacobs, you was the first U.S. superstar to sign with Matchroom Sports. How does it feel like stars like Amir Khan have signed with Eddie Hearns as well? You're the leading force going into this movement.
I don't know. I feel like I am doing something right, though. I feel like everything is in place for me to stay active. Everything is in place for me to have very lucrative fights and take care of myself and my family. And the promotion, most importantly, is at an all-time high. So I think I'm in a really, really good position. The fact that these guys are kind of, following the same steps is not surprising.
Can you break down the fight between Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz March 3rd?
Good fight. I don't know if Ortiz would be able to take Deontay's punches, but if he could, it would definitely be a good fight because he's a tough opponent. Yeah. Who
are some of the fighters that you like to watch these days? Or one or
personally
two guys?
Now?
Yep.
That's a good question. I like tons of guys, man. One of my favorite though.
He doesn't have to be a well-known guy. Maybe just one.
No, I know it's not a well-known guy. But I forget his name off the top. But it's some exciting guys in boxing. Boxing's not dead by far.
What about Saddam? What he did against Cotto?
No, Saddam will always be my favorite.
Yeah.
He's definitely always going to be my favorite. That's my little brother. So I've always seen him and support him. I know he got a fight coming up too, so we're going to be training together. And champion, the former champion, the energy's going to be right. So shout out to my little bro Saddam.
Maybe Saddam should hook up with Chris too, because he's at 154 now. To make
We'll see what happens, man. I think the fact that he's working with my strength and conditioning trainer now, you've seen the difference.
Dave, right, in Long Island?
Scooter, yeah.
Scooter, right.
So you see how when he had his first loss to the last performance, night and day. So Saddam is not gradually, he's enormously getting better, and I'm happy for him.
Hey, Danny.
Thanks, guys.
You ain't never seen this man throw a video where he was running on the track. Ever! Never.
What is up, TBV family? Yes, YouTube has been cutting funding to their channels as of late, and with net neutrality going through its process, the internet is changing. If you want to keep your favorite channel intact, coming up with tons of content, and plus get hours and hours of extra content, head over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingvoice to become a member of the TBV family and help support the channel. Peace.
No other sight in the game can see the boxing voice.